Hello everyone, how are you doing? I have got one new video today based on the comment or request from one of you in the comment section. He asked me for a project covering AWS SQS, Lambda, DynamoDB, and CloudWatch. All should be done with AWS CDK. So this video is dedicated to the people searching for that kind of requirements. We have used AWS CDK with Python to deploy our infrastructure as code. This is a very small project creating the whole infrastructure. I hope this video will be informative for you and you will enjoy this video. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, comment and subscribe. If you also have a requirement, kindly let me know in the comment section. I will try to solve that as well. So let's go and create the project. Hello, welcome to this CDK project where we will be creating first one AWS SQS queue, and this SQS queue will hold one dedicated queue as well, so which message will not be delivered to next consumer. The dedicated queue will hold the messages, and then the SQS queue will publish messages to our AWS Lambda for processing. So this Lambda will process our message coming from SQS queue. It will see the event that is coming from the message, and it will parse the event, and from that particular event it will take the message that is actually coming up, and after it parse the event or the messages that is coming from SQS, it will insert that event or message to DynamoDB. So this is a plain and simple project. This is which will so the message will come from SQS, Lambda will parse the message, and it will insert into DynamoDB. And also, whenever we will create Lambda, it will create one CloudWatch log metrics. So the Lambda likes to log things into CloudWatch. So whenever the Lambda triggered for the first time, it will log events into CloudWatch, and CloudWatch will hold all the logs from Lambda. And everything we will do with CDK, and we will use Python as our coding language. So this whole project involved in cloud development kits, that is AWS CDK and AWS. We will build everything from scratch: the SQS queue, the Lambda, the DynamoDB, and CloudWatch we will not create; it will be created automatically. So stay tuned to see what are the things that we will be creating in AWS CDK and how we will do it. If you have any doubt about Cloud Development Kit or AWS CDK and how to set it up, you can watch my another video where I have given introduction of AWS CDK and how to use it with Python. So this is not an introduction video of CDK. I will not explain the basic things about AWS CDK here, or AWS CDK how it works, but I will try to explain it in an overview. But if you want to know the details, please watch the other video that I have in my channel. It will give you a great overview about how AWS CDK works. So now let's go and check out the practical and do some hands-on, and let's build everything from scratch with our Python CDK. So first of all, for this project, I have created one folder named CDK project. In this folder, our whole project will consist of the file and the project structure or the folder structure. So I have created a new folder for this. So to initialize a CDK project, first of all, we need to do CDK init, and then we need one app. So we will give app, and we need one language. So for language, we will give Python. So I am saying that CDK initialize an application with language Python, and I will hit enter. So as you can see here, it is creating a new project. Now let's go through it. So this is welcome to the CDK project. CDK JSON has been created, and it has also asked me to create a virtual environment. What is virtual environment, how to activate it, and what is the use case for this? Please watch the other video of mine where the introduction of CDK. You will get to know about the virtual environment as well, and how to activate the virtual environment, and how to install the dependencies and everything with CDK synth, useful commands. it has given. So that's all. So this is what it has given me, everything. Now I will open this project with PyCharm. That is our ID key. That is our IDE, and we will do some coding there. So let's open this one in PyCharm. So as you can see, I have opened this CDK project folder with PyCharm. When you open this one, it will show you one README file. In the README file, it consists of how can we actually create the virtual environment and activate it, and how can you install the requirements.txt and everything. And you have to do CDK synth, CDK bootstrapping is also you need to do. That is not written here. So what we can do here, we will go to our command prompt or our terminal and create the virtual environment first. So to create it, you need to copy this command. Either you can do it by this, or you can just click on this icon here, and then we go to our terminal here. Let me clear the screen, and then we copy this one. We paste this one. We don't need this part here. So my virtual environment is created. If we see in our PyCharm, our virtual environment is created. After creation, we need to activate it. So for the activation command is source virtual environment bin activate. This I will paste here, and my virtual environment will be activated. So in a gist, virtual environment is whenever you install any kind of dependency, it will be installed in this particular for this particular project in this virtual environment. So it will not overlap with other projects. So this is very nice. So my virtual environment is created, and let's go to PyCharm once more and see what it has given me as a starting point. So it has given me one tests folder, and within that we have unit tests. You can give unit testing here, and then it has given app.py, which actually tells me to how it will what it will deploy. So this will synth this application, and this application consists of this stack. And what is the stack? We go here and we see that CDK project stack is here. Currently these are kind of coming an error because in this virtual environment the requirements is not installed. So what I will do, I will just click on install requirements and it will be installed. So everything is installed now. As it is installed, you will see the error will be gone in couple of seconds. Yeah, the errors are, everything is gone. Now my virtual environment or the project is ready. What we can do, we can just validate it uh, by doing CDK synth. If CDK synth is working, that means this project is fine. We can deploy this empty project to our account. It will do nothing, only create a CDK toolkit. We will not do anything right now. As we can see, the CDK synth, it has created one nice CloudFormation template. That means this project is okay. So I will again clear the screen and I will come here. Whenever we will do CDK synth, it is creating one CDK out folder. Within that folder, we have this template stack.json. This is actually required to deploy everything into our AWS account. Anyway, so as we can see here in our PowerPoint presentation, we see that we will create one SQS queue, and that SQS queue will trigger message to Lambda, and then that Lambda will trigger insert query into DynamoDB table. So let's create one by one. We will create SQS queue, Lambda, and DynamoDB with our CDK. So here we have actually, let me just maybe do it a bit bigger for you. I'm not sure. Okay, if you see here, so I have pasted the whole bunch of code here, which will create the queue, the Lambda, and the DynamoDB table. So let's go one by one. So first of all, we have to import some stuffs from constructs or CDK library. These constructs like SQS queue, Lambda, Lambda event source, and DynamoDB table. And after that, we need to create the queue. So what we are creating here? So first of all, we will create one dead letter queue. So this queue is a dead letter queue. The queue name is dead letter queue, and the visibility timeout is 300 seconds. And to make this dead letter queue, we need this property of SQS, SQS dead letter queue. So SQS dead letter queue is maximum receive count 1. That means whenever a queue is not delivering message for first time, so it will be come into dead letter queue. So in production, the max receive count should be greater than 1, but as for the demo purpose, I have given it 1. And so for this dead letter queue, which queue is dead letter queue? Is this one, the one that we are creating previously. So this is our dead letter queue. So my dead letter queue is done. Now we will use this dead letter queue to our next step. This is our main queue. This is our main queue where we are creating. I have given the name as lambda queue. Why? Because this queue will send message to lambda, and it has a visibility timeout similar to our dead letter queue, 300 seconds, and the dead letter queue that I have referred to as this one. So don't go with this name. This one just came into my mind and I have given this. Okay. So this dead letter queue is referring to the one this that we have created from previous one. So my SQS queue is done. Now comes the lambda. So for lambda, we have to create first the lambda role. So this role I have created from IAM role and assumed by lambda. This is the service principal. So this role will only be assumed by lambda. And then I have given one managed policy, managed AWS managed policy, AWS administrative access to this lambda role. So please be careful in production. Do not give lambda this administrative access. In demo purpose, just to make it very simple, I have given this administrative access. But in production, sort it down what this actual lambda needs as permission and give it to that. So basically, this lambda needs permission only for inserting data into DynamoDB and CloudWatch access. So give it that. Otherwise, don't give administrative access in production accounts. After that, we have created, this is my main lambda function. And for to create one lambda function in CDK, you need to give the function name, the runtime, the timeout duration of lambda, the code from where the lambda will take the code. We will come here later, and the handler, so after it found the code, in which particular method it will go for execution for this lambda, and the role. The role we are referring to the one that we have created before. And also we have to select the event source. So for event source, we are giving that this event source we have created here. So AWS Lambda event source. So Lambda can be triggered by any event, and we have to give the event source. And the event source we have mentioned as SQS event source. And which SQS queue? The queue, the main lambda queue that we have created. So whenever we will publish any message about this one, and this queue will trigger the lambda. This is one we have created here. And then the event source as created, we have to link this event source to our lambda function. So for that, lambda function dot add event source, this is a method, and then we have to give this event source name. So event source is created, lambda is created, and by this line we are linking the event source to our lambda function. Now the part here, this 5 lines of code is actually creating the DynamoDB table. And this DynamoDB table creation is very simple. We have to give one ID and the table name, that is DynamoDB table, and I have given the table name as ID table. And only I have given the partition key, that is the primary key of DynamoDB table, and the name of the partition key is ID. And I have to make it very simple, I have used string attribute for this ID column here. So this is very simple. So if we see the architecture diagram once more, the SQS queue we have created here, dead letter queue and the SQS queue. We have created the lambda with the role here, and we have also added the event source, and then we have created the DynamoDB table here. Now the part where I said that I will come back later here about this code. So when the message comes from SQS queue to this Lambda, we need to do something about that message, right? We need to insert it into DynamoDB table. So it will not be done automatically. What we have done, we have created this Lambda handler. What it is doing, first of all, it is printing the event that is coming from SQS queue, and then it is creating one DynamoDB DynamoDB client. And then for each and every record that is coming from the event, it is parsing the record. So first of all, to show you what's in the record, I have printed the record here. Then as a payload, I am taking the message that is coming from the event that we will insert. And then we have called this put item API of DynamoDB client, and then it takes the item as this one, where we have to specify the column name and the payload here, what it will insert, and the table name here, in which table it will insert. And if everything goes well, it will return 200 that the data is inserted. And it will return in the body that hello from CDK project. So that's plain and simple. So this is our stack. And this is our Lambda code. And one more thing that I have updated in the app.py is this one, where it will take the by default CDK environment. We don't have to specify which account number or which default region it will deploy the code. So it will take automatically from the OS environment and it will deploy there automatically. So this is all the code. Now what we will go, we will configure our AWS credentials to our terminal. So to configure AWS credential, I came again to my terminal, and then I will type in AWS configure, and if I type in and then hit enter, it will ask me for the access key ID. I will paste my access key ID here, and then it will ask me for my secret key. I will paste my secret key ID here, and default region I will not change, and then that's it. So I have configured my AWS access key and secret key for this project. That means whenever we will do CDK bootstrap and CDK deploy, it will automatically go to this particular account and it will deploy there. So I am inside this account and I have already opened my AWS management console just to see it. Now if I go, I will open up couple of things here. SQS queue, then Lambda, then DynamoDB, and last but not the least is our CloudWatch. So that's it. So right now if you see SQS queue, there is nothing in queue, there is no queue. Functions Lambda, only one Lambda, this is not us. And in tables, there is nothing. And in CloudWatch metrics, in log group, I hope there should not be anything as our Lambda is not there. So everything is clean and clear. What we will do here, we will do, our project is also ready. This project is also ready. So what first of all we need to do, if you remember from my previous project or the previous video, we have to do CDK synth to synthesize the project and to create the CloudFormation template. So now my CDK synth is done, and if we see here what it did actually here, so it created one SQS queue and it created, this is the dead letter queue. The queue name is dead letter queue, and it created another main queue. This is the Lambda queue, and it is giving the dead letter queue target that is coming from the previous one. And then it is creating IAM role for our Lambda, and this is the IAM policy. And then this is my Lambda function. This is my Lambda function, and the handler is SQS Lambda handler Python 3.9. Timeout is 180. And also it is taking the code from here, and then event source, this is creating the Lambda event source mapping. The function, this is the Lambda that created before, and event source is creating this one. Then apart from that, it has created one DynamoDB table, and the attribute is only ID, type is string, rather than I have not done anything, and this is the metadata URL, and that's it. We don't need anything at all. So I will again clear the screen and I will do now CDK bootstrap. So as soon as I do CDK bootstrap, the account bootstrapping will happen. Now we can see that my CDK environment bootstrapping happened. So if I go to CloudFormation here in my project, if I type in CloudFormation, if I see CloudFormation CDK toolkit has been created. So this is nice. So my bootstrapping is done, and we have already done CDK synth. So now my next command would be CDK deploy. So I'm not giving required approval never, because I want to show you what is happening. So CDK deploy, if I give now, it will collect all the information from the CDK JSON, and then it will ask me here, this is what I wanted to show you. So anything related to IAM, it will ask me for approval. So as it is creating one demo role for Lambda, so it is asking me for approval that if I want to, if I can do it or not. So I will press in yes. So it will deploy the stack. So as soon as I press in yes, if I come back here, we will be able to see one CloudFormation stack is deployed. This one CDK project stack is deployed. And if we go to event here, we will be able to see all the events that is happening for this stack. So right now this stack is creating, and this is all the events that is happening. And if I go to resource flat view, we see here one queue is creating, DynamoDB table is creating, and if I again refresh, it will come back. It will come one by one here. Okay, so let's wait for some time, and then maybe we will come back again. Okay, now I see my stack is also creation complete, and resources, every resources has been created here. My SQS queue is created, dedicated queue is created, my IAM role for Lambda is created, Lambda function itself is created, and DynamoDB table is created. Now if I go to SQS and just refresh, there should be two queue. Yes, this is my main queue, and this is the dedicated queue. And function, if I refresh, this is my Lambda function, and DynamoDB table, if I refresh, this is my DynamoDB table, and inside this table, if I explore table item, currently there is none. Okay, fine, everything is in order. What we will do, this is the testing time for us. In function, we will go inside the function, and we see the if our code is there or not. Okay, so this is our code and everything is fine. So we go to SQS, and this is our main queue, Lambda queue, and we go to send and receive messages. And for the messages, I will type in hello for the first time. So this is my message. So if I publish this message from SQS, it should go to Lambda, and Lambda should insert into DynamoDB table. So let's publish this message. So I will send this message. So the message has been sent and ready to be received. If I go to CloudWatch console, let's see if any logs is generated. This is my Lambda log is now generated, and this is the first event. I hope it should come in. Yes, and it came in. You see here, this is the print statement. I am printing the record here, and this is the body. Actually, in body holds the actual message, and from the message I have parsed the message, and this is the parsing message hello that I have sent from the SQS queue. And if everything is fine, if I run the scan again, it should insert into DynamoDB table. I have run, and I can see that data has been inserted into DynamoDB table. Couple of other message we can also send. Maybe this is the message I will send, and if I send the message, as soon as I send it, if I run the scan again, we see that in my couple of microseconds it's come into DynamoDB table. So this is very fast. Uh, so this is the actual scenario that I wanted to show you. Creating one CDK project, publishing one message with SQS and parsing that with Lambda and inserting into DynamoDB table, while Lambda publish everything logs into CloudWatch. So in a nutshell, this is what I wanted to show you. I hope you really like this video, and if you like it, please subscribe to my channel and like, share and comment this video. I will be back with another exciting video. Till then, goodbye, take care.